Okay, open up your workbook to page 151. 151. So on sales tips and markup, I do want to point out a couple of things, the vocabulary, at least one thing. Excuse me. And it's this word right here, gratuity. Gratuity means you're thankful, like gratitude. We get a word gratitude from there. And so that is like a tip. It's just another word for tip. It means you're thankful, so you give them a tip. Sometimes it's called gratuity. And of course we know what sales tax, tip, markup, that's when a store raises the price. And then selling price is what you buy it for, what it's being sold for. Okay, real world link, kayaks. Alonzo plans to buy a new kayak that cost $2,100. But when he buys a kayak, it actually costs more because he lives in a county where there is a 7% sales tax. Well, welcome to the real world, Alonzo. Yes, there is a thing called tax. Now, you can find the amount of tax on an item by multiplying the price by the tax percentage. Circle the amount below that shows the amount of tax Alonzo will pay for the kayak. Well, let's see, 7% is 0.07. You multiply it by the cost, or the price, $2,100, and that would give you your answer. One of these three is correct. The correct answer is 147. All right, so he has to pay an extra $147 for the taxes. Now, use the amount of tax from exercise 1, that's his problem, to fill in the receipt at the right. Here's the receipt over here at the right. Then find the total cost Alonzo will pay for the kayak. All right, the kayak itself was $2,100. And the tax, we said, was $147. Right? The tax is $147. We add that up, and we get our answer. This is how much he has to pay. That's 7, 4, 1 and 1 makes 2, and then a 2. So it looks like $2,247. Okay, so now what it tells us to do is, okay, so we did that. This is how much the total cost Alonzo will pay for the kayak. Then it says multiply 1.07 times 2,100. How does the result compare to your answer? Well, let's try that out. So it says try 1.07 times 2,100. And if we use a calculator, 1.07 times 2,100, and look, I get 2,247. That's the same answer that we got in our answer, 2,247. Same answer. So I'm just going to say it's the same. All right, so you see there's two different ways of figuring out the answer. We could multiply by 0.07 and get our tax, and then add the tax to the kayak. Or we could do it all in one shot by just saying 107% times 2,100. That's a shortcut way. Okay, on Alonzo's kayaking trip, hiring a guide costs $50. Alonzo wants to give the guide a tip, a 10% tip. So it costs $50, but he wants to give a 10% tip. Explain how to find the amount of the tip. Of just the tip, not the total cost, just the tip. How would you do that? Well, you take 10%, that's 0.10, times $50. And that comes out to be $5 tip. All right, and I don't think we need to put a bunch of words explaining. There it is right there. That's pretty clear to me. Okay, so now let's go ahead and turn the page. Notice they talk about sales tax. We've already discussed that. It's adding on to the price. Notice that we have a problem here. An example, Drew wants to buy exercise equipment for $140, but there's a sales tax. What's the total cost? No, they want the total cost. Okay, two ways of doing it. Method one is just taking 140 plus the percentage of 140. Okay, that's the tax amount. In method two, the second method, is to simply take 105.75%, right? Right there. See that? 105.75%. I move the decimal over 2 spaces. There I go. And now we can just multiply, and you have the answer. It's the same answer. It's your choice which way you want to do. Most people find this easy to remember. This is a shortcut. Okay, I want to bring your attention to the next problem, letter A. And this is because it has a fraction involved, but it doesn't have to be that way. It says, what is the total cost of a sweatshirt if the regular price is $42 and the sales tax, the tax, is 5.5%? Now, 5.5% is the same as 5.5%. 1/2 is the same as 0.5. All right, so we have $42 plus 5.5% of $42. So you could do this two ways. You could say 42 plus, now move the decimal over twice, so 0.055. See that? I have to move the decimal twice, times 42. You could do this and get your answer. Or you just could say, just put a 1 in front of it. 1.055 times 42. Either one of those will be correct. And if you do that, the answer comes out to be I have $44.31. $44.31. So I'll just write that down there. $44.31. Remember, we're always talking with money when we deal with taxes. Right below there, there's a term. Remember, gratuity. It's that word I pointed out before. A tip or gratuity. It's a small amount of money in return for a service. So there's that word again, gratuity. Same thing as tip, means the same thing. Okay, turn to the next page, slide over. Number 2 example, it says a customer wants a 15% tip to give one, and the bill is for $35. Notice it says, what's the total bill, the total cost? 2 methods of doing that. One method is you have the cost, $35, plus 15%. That's 0.15 of $35. Okay, that's one method. The other method is to just take 100% of this. That's 1. 100% is just 1. 1 times 35 and 0.15 times 35. That's 1.15. That's 115%. If you notice right here, they'll put that 115%. 100% of this and 15% of it also. So you would just write 1.15 times 35. Either way, you get the same answer. Your choice and way of doing it. And the answer with the tip is $40.25. Number 3 example, it's a haircut, costs $20, but there's also a sales tax and a tip. And they want to know, is $25 going to be enough? Is $25 enough? How would you set that up? A couple of ways, but the simplest way is to say you have $20, that's the cost. Then you're going to have the tax. The tax is 4.75, so move it over 2 spaces. So $20, the tax on $20, and the tip of $20. And so you would just add all these up because it's asking for the total. What would the total be? Actually, it doesn't know what the total is. It says, is this enough money? Is $25 enough to cover all this? Well, if I calculate this out, you have $20, 95-cent tax, $3 tip. You put that together, that's $23.95. And notice they do that right here, $23.95. Excuse me, right there. So is $25 enough is the question. Yes, it is. $25 is enough to pay for this, the tax and the tip and the haircut. Okay, turn the page, please. Let's skip this page. Let's go into this. This is going to be your assignment, but I want to make 2 points with you to help you out. And that's this down below. Many students get confused, and the first time I did this problem, I was like, what? Where's the rest of the problem? It says, what is the sales tax on the chair if the tax rate is this, 5.75? Well, look, this is the price right here. They kind of hit it. It's attached to the chair. Okay? So that's what you want to do. You want to figure out the tax on it. And it just wants to know what the tax is. How much is the tax? So there's the price for that one. Let's scroll up to this one. Point out number 5 and number 6. I'll set up number 5 with you. And it basically says a restaurant bill comes to, there's a total. Find the total cost. We want to figure out the total cost. If it has a tax, it has this tax, and you want to give a tip. Okay, so what is the total cost going to be? Well, it's $28.35. $28.35 plus, okay, now we have the tax. And the tax is, remember, you have to move the decimal over 2 spaces always. 1, 2, that's going to be 0.0625 times the cost here. Okay, so that takes care of the tax. This is how much for the restaurant bill, then the tax of it, but then you have the tip. And the tip, you want to give a 20% tip. Move the decimal 2 spaces times how much the meal was, $28.35. All right, you figure out these 3 things, these 2 things, add it, and then you have your answer. All right, let me just slide over here. Number 6, or I'll slide the book. And it says, Toru takes his dog to be groomed. The fee to groom the dog is $75 plus the tax. Is $80 enough to pay for the service? Is $80 enough? So you have to figure this amount, and then is it enough? Is $80 going to cover it? There'll be a yes or no. Okay, remember, always show the numbers that you're calculating. Always show them down, and then you can use a calculator for that, but always show what you're multiplying or adding up. Don't just give an answer, or it won't get any credit. And this is page 155.